From Arkansas's breaking news leader, Fox 16 News at 9 starts now.
A breaking news update tonight. A packed house in Pope County as people voice their opinions on casinos. Tonight, the Quorum Court voted to bring a casino to their community. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Donna Terrell.
I'm Kevin Kelly. For the past several months, this has been the center of controversy for the county. Fox 16's Mitch McCoy in Russellville this evening with what tonight's vote means as we move forward with this. Mitch.
Yeah, good evening. Voters passed Amendment 100, allowing the state of Arkansas to have 4 casinos here in the state and 1 here in Pope County. It was after that Pope County voters rejected it and implemented a local ordinance that would give voters back local control here, whether they wanted a casino or not, and they would be the ultimate ones with the decision. But the county attorney disagrees with the local ordinance and says that state law trumps the local ordinance, which put control back with local officials here in Pope County, and they exercise those votes tonight.
Tell the state Pope County has a say.
A standing room only, shoulder to shoulder in Pope County as the Quorum Court discusses one of the county's most controversial decisions, casinos.
How did Pope County get selected as one of the 4 sites for a casino resort without a vote by the citizens of this county?
We trust in your choice for the casino partner for Pope County and know no one knows better who best benefits the residents of Pope County.
For more than an hour, people argued for how they believe the justices should vote.
I voted against a casino because I've seen, my sister lives up in Oklahoma, so I know firsthand the problems a casino will bring.
If in fact the choice is based on economic growth and development and nothing more, and I believe it is, then we support our justices and our judge.
The justices ended up voting to bring Cherokee Nations, the Legends Resort and Casino, to Pope County.
8 votes, resolution is adopted.
The agreement shows Cherokee Nation will build at least a $225 million facility, which will include a casino and gaming building, a hotel, indoor and outdoor music venue, a restaurant, water park, medical helicopter landing zone, and a substation for law enforcement. The county judge says he started talking with Cherokee Nation more than a year ago.
And the first question out of their mouth is, what can we do to help you accommodate us? They were the first that came to that.
The casino is financially responsible for all construction costs. The county attorney also gave a heads up to all of the justices, informing them that no matter the decision they made tonight, whether they voted, whether they held off or whatnot, that they would be sued no matter what over whatever decision they make. Part of that agreement that the county signed earlier tonight is that the casino will have to put forth $38 million back into the county, and that ranges from police and fire to you have county costs and then also arts and education foundations. We're in Russellville tonight. Mitch McCoy, Fox 16 News.
Okay, so Mitch, money into the county, but what about the city of Russellville? Will the city get any money?
Yeah, very good question. So we're told that the city of Russellville won't get any direct paycheck from the casino, but we're told that the $27 million that Pope County would get overall from the casino as just an added benefit will benefit a new jail, enhanced 911 services, and also the ambulance services, which the county judge says will have a huge impact on everyone in Russellville.
Okay, all right. Mitch McCoy in Russellville. Thank you.
More than 1,000 people, meanwhile, showed up at the Pine Bluff Convention Center for the Saracen Casino Resort Job Fair. A spokesperson from the casino says this is just one of many more job fairs to come. Today, they were looking to fill at least 140 positions, everything from bartenders to bankers. Casino Resort Human Resource Director Brad Stone says these job fairs are unlike any other because many leave the same day with a contingent job offer.
It's important for us to get this filled now because we need to train all of the people that we hire, probably at the downstream facility, to bring back to Pine Bluff to go into the annex and be fully ready to be open on October 1st.
The next job fair has yet to be announced. However, interested candidates should start preparing to arrive to these job fairs ready to interview, get drug tested, fingerprinted, and even offered a small job all on the same day. For more details, just head over to our website, fox16.com.
Now, weather to plan your day with Fox 16 Chief Meteorologist Jeff Baskin.
Immensely hot and humid day across much of Arkansas with high temperatures near 100 degrees, and where it didn't hit 100 degrees, it felt much hotter because of the very high humidity. 99 in Little Rock, that ties for the hottest day that we've had so far this year. We haven't hit 100 this year in Little Rock, but we've been close a couple of times. 100 officially in Hot Springs today. Arkadelphia 100, Camden 100 degrees. You see a lot of upper 90s on the map. And tonight, well, we cooled off quite a bit, and the reason why, some isolated showers and thunderstorms have helped to cool things off, down to 78 right now in Little Rock, but some areas still well up into the 80s. And with high humidity, it still feels like 90s across some areas. 96 current heat index in Monticello, still feels like upper 90s around El Dorado. But notice Little Rock, heat index really isn't all that bad. And that's because of some of those showers around earlier today. You see West Memphis feels like 81. At one point, the heat index, how it felt when you factored in the temperature and the humidity, it felt like 120 degrees out there. No more heat advisories, no more excessive heat warning across the state. That has expired. Not as hot and humid for tomorrow. It's still going to be warm and humid. It's still mid-August, but it's not going to be insanely hot and humid like it was today. Still a couple of isolated showers and thunderstorms across parts of eastern Arkansas. Around Woodruff County, we have a couple of showers and thunderstorms. We've dried out, though. No more showers across central Arkansas. Earlier, a little blow-up of some showers and thunderstorms ahead of a weak cold front that's moving south. Those showers mainly dying off, but behind that front, not as hot, not as humid. I don't really want to say cooler. I'd say just not as hot, because it's still going to get up into the 90s tomorrow. High temperatures up into the low 90s, but with the lower humidity, heat index values would be more, it's going to feel more like mid to upper 90s, more like average August, not 110. So even though it's going to be hot and humid, it'll be more average August heat. Coming up in your 7-day forecast, I'll show you when rain chances return.
All right, Jeff, thank you very much. A trial date now set for a teen accused of shooting and killing his mother last year in Woodruff County. The sheriff confirming his mental evaluation is complete and that he will be facing first-degree murder. His mother, Stephanie Addison, was killed in her Mayberry home back in July of 2018. Her son's trial is scheduled for late September.
A Haskell man arrested after authorities say he left his child in a hot car today. Thankfully, the child did survive. Christopher Schneider was booked on endangering the welfare of a minor. Police say around 4 this afternoon, they received a call from a woman who said 15 minutes before she saw a man head into a store leaving a child inside a car. At the time of the call, it was 97 degrees outside. The heat index was 110. According to the report, when questioned, Schneider told officers he didn't believe that it was that hot inside the vehicle. The child's age has not been released.
Ahead of a scheduled trial for child porn in Pulaski County, a northeast Arkansas woman pleaded guilty today and will get probation. Brianna Bird was arrested last year in Maumelle after investigators say she took explicit photos of an underage girl posing at a hotel. As part of her plea deal, she will remain on probation for 5 years and have to register as a sex offender.
A breaking news update now. 9 days after a mass shooting in Dayton, Ohio left 9 people dead and at least 17 others wounded. Police have released new information about the gunman and the events of that night.
Investigators say the shooting was planned but have not drawn conclusions about the gunman's motivation. Dan Sheneman has more.
New details about the night a gunman opened fire in Dayton, Ohio.
This was a plan well before he got to the Oregon District.
Authorities unveiled a timeline of the events that began late August 4th. Just after 11 at night, the gunman, Cotter Betts, along with his sister and a companion, drove to the Oregon District and went to a bar. 2 hours later, Betts, now armed with an assault-style weapon, began shooting. Authorities released a video which shows diners scattering when they heard gunfire. Less than a minute after the first shot was fired, Betts was engaged by police.
We believe that the shooting started at approximately 1:05 and 35 seconds. We believe it ended at 1:06 and 7 seconds. That's 32 seconds.
Police say Betts was wearing body armor, but not properly.
Because of the way it was worn was vulnerable. And fortunately, we were able to take advantage of that vulnerability.
9 people died in the massacre. Betts' sister was among the first killed. It's not clear if she was a target.
We're divided about how whether that was intentional or not. I think it's inconclusive.
Police say evidence suggests Betts acted alone, and while police don't know his motivation, they do understand his mindset.
There's this history of obsession with violence and violent ideations, the discussion of interest in mass shootings and the expression of desire to carry out a mass shooting.
A mass shooting that ended 9 lives and left many more broken hearts.
The Justice Department taking action against employees of the prison where Jeffrey Epstein apparently committed suicide. The warden of the Metropolitan Correctional Center in New York has been temporarily reassigned. 2 guards who were assigned to Epstein's unit at the time of his death are now on administrative leave. The case now shining a spotlight on what employees say are widespread problems at federal prisons all around the country.
The hiring freeze that was imposed by the Trump administration has had a significant effect on all of our facilities, particularly this facility here. So you're talking about staff constantly working 60, 70-hour work weeks.
Along with that, unions representing guards nationwide report staffing shortages and mandatory overtime. Both guards in charge of Epstein's unit were working overtime at the time of his death, but it's still unclear if it was mandatory.
A consumer alert tonight. A company making its money off vacation rentals is accused of going from fun to fraud. The Arkansas Attorney General's office claims the owners of Timeless Memories LLC fabricated property amenities and would not return money. Another victim has come forward saying he even went into business with one of the owners. He says last October he gave Brittany Brown $10,000 for 50% ownership of a rental property. He says he was supposed to get his money back in 6 months and any profit. So far, he says he hasn't seen a dime.
That's how a lot of people are nowadays. Try to get one over on you. And of course, she got one over on me for good, but it's not over yet.
Bean filed a lawsuit against Brown back in March after not getting his money. Now that the Attorney General is involved and at least 8 people have come forward with complaints, he hopes this stops them from luring more people.